Hello everyone. Today I will be starting a brand new video series. It is on my franchise I created called Paradise. It is within the science fiction dystopia genre. It is similar to franchises like Brave New World, Equilibrium, Gattaca, Daybreakers, 2008's Mirror's Edge, and Severance. What is Cascadia? Cascadia is a fictional authoritarian technocratic society built after the collapse of the United States. It presents itself as peaceful, orderly, rational, and psychologically enlightened, but maintains that stability through intense behavioral regulation, surveillance, ideological conditioning, and calculated violence when necessary. Cascadia was created principally by Dr. Lucia Navarro and two other women founders, including Dr. Ilara Virek, after they came to believe that the old United States had become psychologically, socially, and politically incapable of repairing itself. The process began with the PLF coup in 2030, which effectively marked the end of the old American order. Lucia and her allies gradually transformed their revolutionary movement into a disciplined political system. After victory, they formally established Cascadia in 2050, with New Eden becoming its new civilizational center. Their motivation was essentially peace through restoration. Lucia believed the old world produced instability, cruelty, abandonment, uncontrolled emotion, political chaos, and social fragmentation. Rather than trusting people to regulate themselves, Cascadia was designed to engineer a stable society psychologically, but concluded that achieving it justified taking away much of humanity's freedom. Christopher Henderson, portrayed by Peter Weller in the 2001 TV series 24, is perhaps one of the clearest live-action examples of what a genuinely Cascadian personality would look like. He is particularly effective because he isn't portrayed as an impulsive criminal or conventional power-hungry villain. Henderson is an experienced intelligence professional whose intelligence, discipline, and emotional control make him extremely difficult to defeat. Henderson formerly served as Jack Bauer's superior at CTU and was instrumental in bringing Jack into the organization. Their history gives their conflict an unusually personal dimension. Jack once respected Henderson as a mentor, while Henderson understands Jack's psychology, capabilities, and methods better than most of Jack's enemies. Their conflict therefore resembles a confrontation between two highly capable operatives who know how the other thinks. Henderson's frightening quality isn't simply that he can be cruel. It is that cruelty can become procedural for him. He can understand another person's emotions while still deciding that the objective outweighs them. Christopher Henderson's emotional regulation is one of the strongest reasons he feels naturally Cascadian. His defining quality isn't an absence of emotion. It is his ability to experience emotion without surrendering behavioral control to it. Henderson clearly has feelings. He demonstrates attachment, anger, fear, frustration, loyalty, resentment, and concern for people close to him. What distinguishes him is that these emotions rarely completely dictate his outward behavior. Even when circumstances become intensely personal, he usually retains enough psychological distance to continue thinking strategically. Emotion exists underneath the surface, while the exterior remains comparatively controlled. That closely resembles what could be called stillness. Cascadia wouldn't necessarily teach people to eliminate emotion. Instead, it would teach them that emotional experience and emotional expression are separate things. A person can be frightened without panicking, furious without shouting, affectionate without becoming demonstrative, and devastated without collapsing publicly. Emotional maturity, from the Cascadian perspective, would mean allowing the feeling to exist while maintaining deliberate control over what happens next. Henderson demonstrates this particularly well because his calmness doesn't feel robotic. There are small changes in his face, voice, gaze, and posture that reveal what is happening internally. His irritation can become visible, his concern can surface, his anger can sharpen his behavior. But those emotions usually appear as controlled leakage rather than complete release. That distinction would matter enormously in Cascadia. A perfectly expressionless Henderson wouldn't actually be the ideal. Cascadia's psychological culture would probably recognize absolute emotional suppression as potentially unhealthy or unstable. Someone who genuinely feels nothing might even be more concerning than someone who feels intensely but regulates those feelings successfully. His anger provides a particularly good example. Henderson doesn't generally require screaming or explosive aggression to communicate hostility. His anger often makes him more focused. His voice remains controlled, his attention narrows, and his decisions become colder. That resembles the kind of emotional discipline Cascadia would cultivate in officials. Anger may provide information and motivation, but it isn't supposed to take command. The same principle applies to fear. Henderson isn't literally fearless. What makes him formidable is his ability to continue functioning while threatened. Cascadia would distinguish strongly between experiencing fear and behaving fearfully. The physiological response isn't necessarily considered failure. Surrendering one's judgment to that response is. He remains recognizably human. His emotional life hasn't disappeared beneath his discipline. Instead, discipline sits between emotion and action. That would make Henderson an unusually strong embodiment of Cascadian stillness, not a man who feels nothing, but a man who can feel something deeply, reveal only a fraction of it, and continue behaving according to what he has decided must be done. And that distinction is important for Cascadia itself. Its ideal citizen isn't necessarily cold. Its ideal citizen is difficult for emotion to move against their own judgment.